All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Coming to you from the land of brisket and barbecue, Lone Stars and Longhorns. It's All in Colts, powered by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. It's time to step into the Colts Corner as we discuss the offseason moves of the organization. This week, we'll take a look at the top vet free agents at the positions of need. So, let's go. All in Colts.
That's right, I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam. We're the Unstable Blues, happy to present All In Colts as part of the Rogue Media Sports Network.
Yep. Colts Corner Bulletin. Lou Anarumo added his linebacker coach in James Bettcher, who was with him for the last 3 years in Cincy. Before that, he was the DC for the Giants and spent the last year of Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis' Colt era as the outside linebacker coach, working that tandem. So,
yeah, it's a good pickup. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see the secondary coach from the Bengals the past 3 years. Also, I forget his name, escapes me now, but wouldn't be surprised if he's the next one to come over and follow Mr. Anarumo. Also, one thing we forgot to mention, Lou Anarumo spent, I think, 8 years as the defensive coordinator for Purdue back in the glory days of Purdue when Joe Tiller was there as the coach. And part of that time was the Rose Bowl win with Drew Brees. So he's got some Indiana history.
Yeah.
I think James does too. James actually coached for Ball State, I believe, is what I heard.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
I mean, coming back, Indiana is hard to escape.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. So let's go through. I organized these in order that we said of the areas of need. Obviously, we had a slightly different order, so I had to try to meet us in the middle. So, First up for both of us was
tight end.
That's right.
I'll start since
Go for
it. In all honesty,
yep,
I see 3, maybe 4 here.
Okay, me too.
I like.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just because I'm pretty sure ours are the exact same.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Mike Gesicki is up there.
Yep.
Zach Ertz is up there.
Yep.
Austin Hooper.
Yep.
And Tyler Conklin is a maybe for me.
Okay.
I don't think he proved enough.
Okay.
The only other guy that I could possibly see is Juwan Johnson from the Saints.
Okay.
I don't think he's a terrible guy at all. But I don't think it's what we need necessarily.
I got you. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. After the season that Gesicki had, I don't know that the Bengals are going to let him go. But at the same time, when they have to look at Jamar and T. Higgins, and they already have Joe Burrow's contract, I don't know if they'll be able to afford him. And so that gives the Colts a bit of a sneaky upside now with Lou Anarumo coming over from the Bengals. And so
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Like there's a little bit of a maybe possibility there. Tyler Conklin was actually at the top of my list. Even this is before the Anarumo connection, simply because the cost effectiveness.
That makes sense.
I can obviously like the bargain basement Ballard concept. But Conklin is he's good. He's a good blocker. He's good at getting the yardage, and he's not as flashy as Gesicki and Ertz, but he's a good possession kind of guy. So to me, some of this factors into if you keep Mo Alley Cox, maybe you don't go with Conklin, you go somewhere else that is a little bit more flashy. If you don't choose to go Mo Alley Cox, maybe you believe that that Conklin is more of an upgrade for that. But really, my eye to meet in the middle on that is Zach Ertz. Once again, the season he had with the Commanders, means that they probably don't want to let him go.
They don't have that many guys to pay either.
Exactly. You got a guy on a rookie QB on a rookie contract, all that kind of stuff. But there's going to be some decisions that had to be made with that organization where it is, So, it's a possibility. So, Zach Ertz is probably my top viable candidate. Gesicki is the dream, and Austin Hooper solid in the middle there. But Conklin just as well.
Yeah.
All right. I'll start us off at running back.
Sounds good.
Just got to mention that Aaron Jones is up for free agency. I don't think he'll be available with the Vikings and where they are with their quarterback situation and everything. I think Aaron Jones is a must sign for them, even more than Sam Darnold. But then the other guys I'm looking at, Jeff Wilson was with the Niners, then went over to the Dolphins. I don't know that he's needed for them, and so he might be a let go from them. Also, A.J. Dillon coming off of an injury, and their situation, they may view him as a not need and more of a risk coming off of an injury. This also may be a little bit more of a stretch, but Javonte Williams, once again.
I mean, here's my thought on that. If you're talking about injuries, Javonte Williams is kind of king of that. He doesn't play a lot because of injuries. And I think if you're looking for someone to back JT up, because JT is the guy.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt. Top 5 running back in the league. Like,
right. We're talking about RB2. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly. We're talking RB2.
Yep.
Javonte Williams is too injury prone to be an RB2. You do not want an injury prone guy as an RB2 because they're there to back up the number 1. So if the number 1 gets hurt, but then the number 2 guy is hurt because he's injury prone, then you're down to your third guy who obviously isn't as important as the first 2 because he's the third string. So then you're stuck with someone that like you don't work with as much.
Yeah, I get that. I would say they discovered this 3-back system, and do you really need that? Especially when you got Estime, who is a second-year player who did really good in his rookie year. You expect him to be good, and it's just an opportunity, and he has flash when he's there. Once again, don't know if he's going to be available. He may be too good of an option to pass up for Sean Payton. And then more of a vet kind of guy, almost like we've seen the Colts do with the quarterback situation. Kareem Hunt is available after getting picked up just for the end of the season with the Chiefs. So that's who I got. What do you see?
I see Kareem Hunt as well. I actually really like that. I mean, Nick Chubb is there, but surely he gets picked up.
And we're talking about injury prone. He is a risk.
It's
true. Risk.
That is true. I like J.K. Dobbins as well.
Yeah. Once again,
surely he's picked up though because the Chargers. I think it's Jim, right?
Jim. Yep.
It's Jim.
Yep.
Okay. I should just stick with my gut because I think Jim really likes J.K., which is why I like him too.
Yeah.
Very, very solid running back. But I mean, and then maybe the last guy I see is Alexander Madison.
Okay.
I like the way he runs the ball. He can run like a number 1, but he doesn't have the big name that a number 1 does have, which is kind of what you look for. Like, for example, the Dolphins, whenever everyone's healthy, they have a really good running back core. And Devon Achane, who has become the number 1 over Raheem Mostert, who's Raheem Mostert, who is the 2, but runs like a 1, and Jeff Wilson, which is just as good as well.
Yep.
So that's kind of what you look for. You look for the guy, the big name, which is JT, and then you look for someone else who's maybe not as big name, but still is good. I believe Alexander Madison also played on the Vikings before this past season.
Yep.
And he was good then too.
Yep.
So other than that, though, I don't really have many running backs that I'm looking for.
Awesome. Why don't you start us off then with safety?
Okay, let me get
This could be free
chart up.
safety or strong safety,
Gotcha.
however
okay.
you view it.
Okay. We'll just
Sorry,
look at
I caught
safety
you
as a
off
whole.
guard.
No, you're
All
fine.
right.
You're fine. Okay. I gotta kind of like look through see who I want to say here.
All right.
Justin Simmons is out there.
Yep.
He's got maybe a year or two left in him.
Okay.
If I'm the Colts, I pick him up.
All right.
He wants a ring. I don't think he has one. Go out there, pick him up, get him.
All right.
He's great talent out there. One of the best players on that Falcons defense after the many, many moves that they made to buff that defense up. Justin Reed is there, but Casey's going to take him. He's 28, so he's on the younger side of vets as well. What?
Go ahead.
And then right under Justin Simmons, probably in his last year. If this isn't his last year, he's probably retiring. Tyrann Mathieu, always a beast. He's very, very good still. And then you want to go down the list a little bit more. I think the two that I'm looking at is Xavier Woods for the Panthers or from the Panthers, and Quandre Diggs from the Titans.
Yep. We're in the same kind of area there. I've got okay. Once again, I gotta just throw this stuff out there. Buda Baker. Okay. All right, cool. Probably picked up, but it's out there. Justin Simmons, as you mentioned, Tyrann Mathieu, as you mentioned, right? Quandre Diggs, I found this interesting. I forget exactly the social media interaction, but there was a bit of a social media interaction with Kenny Moore and Quandre Diggs.
Okay.
After the Lou Amaruno hiring. So I went, oh.
Yeah, but it's Titans and Colts.
It was a bit of a like, hey, you want to. It was kind of like that. I forget exactly what it was. And then last one I got, Marcus Epps.
Okay.
I think that he has a Amaruno quality to him. Not as big of a name, but very coachable, teachable, play hard for you.
Yeah.
So,
and I think the number one guy out of those safeties, since we kind of said a lot, just kind of slim it down a little bit. The number one guy I would choose is Justin Simmons, because we have a strong safety in Nick Cross. And then if we don't sign Blackman, then Justin Simmons, I think, fills that. I think maybe a little bit better than Blackman does. The only thing Blackman has is the system, but that's changing. So
I wouldn't put it. If it's me, I wouldn't put it past signing Blackman and Justin Simmons
for competition or rotation, or
I say Blackman is better at the strong safety, and don't forget this. You may not have done as much digging as I did. Lou Amaruno plays dime a lot.
Okay.
So that mean maybe more safety, more corner, and so you got to have more depth there.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise. I think that.
Okay, wait. Okay, so
Blackman is sort of a swing between strong and
but
free.
But my point is, Blackman is not topping Cross. Cross has saluted himself as the starter.
I think so.
I know so.
Okay.
I do not want Blackman over Cross. So I don't know. I think there's not a need for a bigger name guy like Blackman, who is going to get paid more because he's a vet and stuff like that. So and I think in the draft as well, there's a wide variety of both free and strong in there. So I think you're able to get younger guys. But we're on just free agency this time. But move on to what position? Quarterback. You get to go first.
All right, here we go. I'm going to just list them off. Jacoby Brissett could bring him back to Indy.
Okay.
Okay. Tyler Heineke. Do not underestimate what a competitor he was last year with the Commanders. I think it was, right?
Chargers.
Filling in. No, not this past
year before last.
Year before he was with the Commanders.
Because I was like Mariota. Mariota is this year.
No.
For the Commanders.
But he had to step in. Forget it. I mean, they had some quarterback issues. He had to step in, and he had to command some stuff, and he did really good. And he, let me back up a little bit. We're talking about QB2, and so what I'm after is a quarterback that you don't have to change the system and the play calls completely when they come in. I want somebody who is similar in play style to Anthony Richardson. Obviously, hopefully, nobody can do what Anthony Richardson can do, especially with the offseason ahead of him and working with Josh Allen's former mechanics coach. But I'm looking for somebody who still has the mobility, still has the ability to do the kinds of things. And I believe, don't sell Taylor Heineke short. He can still do a lot of that stuff. He just doesn't have quite the arm, I don't think. Nobody does. But some of that similar kind of out of the pocket, scramble kind of stuff. Okay? Justin Fields.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen with the Steelers yet. Josh Dobbs is out there. Okay. Once again, Sam Ehlinger being a key point to me. And then I know you're very fond of this guy, so I'll just leave him out there and set you up with Jameis Winston.
Yes. I love me some Jameis Winston. His pregame speech has got a lot better. Big man of God. I appreciate that a lot. I think looking through here, I like the Taylor Heineke. I wouldn't hate a Drew Lock maybe. I feel like he could fill in pretty well. And then kind of my final guy that I think of, like you think of filling in the system and not having to change plays. I think a guy that could definitely do that is Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
Now, I think he may be staying with the Commanders, though. But I think Marcus Mariota is the best guy out there to fill that system. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think it's a little bit too high risk, not enough reward for me. I hear what you're saying, and a younger Marcus Mariota, I think I might have been way in on, but I'm not so sure at this point. We'll see. Why don't you lead us off then with linebackers?
Oh, okay. There are so many guys out there. A lot of these guys are going to get picked up by the teams, though. Just to name a couple, Dre Greenlaw, probably staying with the Niners unless, I think this is a lot of big contract years for the Niners. I don't know how much they'll be able to hold on to. So Dre may slip. Dre would be huge. Matthew Judon is out there. Khalil Mack, Hassan Reddick. I believe those guys are all getting signed. Levante David is a guy who I'm looking at. Jerome Baker's there. And then the last two that I'm going to mention here as Isaiah Simmons coming from the Jets. So kind of some connections. Don't know how long he's been there, but maybe with the linebacker coach coming in from the Giants with the DC and all that. Maybe some connections there. And then Devondre Campbell from Green Bay as well.
All right. I only had two people on my list. And because I'm big on them, it's Dre Greenlaw. I once again, the contract plus coming off the injury, I think he may be a slip for the Niners. And I think with where the Colts are at, they're not necessarily they don't necessarily need a long-term guy, but they're looking for, much like the Commanders, a lot of vet guys who are in the twilight of their years who want to put their chips in with a young QB who could really take it by storm. So I could see Dre Greenlaw doing that. Plus, there is a Niners connection with Buck, and so Buck said he's going to go out there and recruit, and so this is one I'm looking at for that reason. And then the only other one I had on there, you kind of glossed over, Jerome Baker. I think he, once again, kind of fits in a good pocket where the price won't be too high, but the return on investment could be really, really good in that sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. That's our top needs of positions. Do you want to bust through the other ones, or should we save them for another time?
Well, how many we got? We got 2 more positions, right?
2 more positions, but they're cornerback and wide receiver.
Yeah, let's save them for next time.
All right, sounds good. Well, then that's it for today. We'll come back more. We'll be back tomorrow with our games recap, plus a return to the update from the South, look at the AFC South and some of the offseason coaching and GM moves. Then the Pro Bowl week provides us an opportunity to talk about potential expansion and realignment, as well as the impact of the 18-game schedule, possibly.
Yeah. This is Liam.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all in Colts.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.